I have the great pleasure of bringing on my favorite chair of a thesis committee, Beth Stephens. Beth is also a co-creator of the environmental movement called Ecosexuality, and she's here. It's a great pleasure. I've had you on several times, Beth, and thanks again for taking the time out to talk with me today.
Nada, I just love being on your show. This is my favorite radio show in the whole world.
Oh.
So, and you just have the most amazing people. I just heard this great music by Sugar by the Pound. Is that who that was? It just made me want to just do a little clogging down there in West Virginia, where my roots are.
That's right, because you're from Appalachia country.
That's right, I'm from Appalachia.
And in fact, you have a wildly successful environmental movie called Goodbye Golly Mountain, about your home.
Yes, it's about my home and about ecosexuality. And that film is playing on the 9th of this month in Lexington, Massachusetts, if anyone's in Lexington that's listening.
Right, and it's been playing at a lot of places across the United States.
It has.
And it really focuses not only on ecosexuality, the environmental movement, but also the terrible destruction of mountaintop removal to get coal, and just the massive environmental impact, negative impact that it does to our environment. Now, just tell me for a second, I know the motto of the ecosexual movement, but I was hoping you could just tell it to us.
Well, the ecosexuals, we are shifting the metaphor from Earth as mother to Earth as lover, so that human beings can engage in a more mutual relationship with the Earth, because the mother is tired of doing our laundry, kids. She is really tired. And, the lover kind of represents the unknown. And, boy, we do not know what we're heading into. And so part of what Annie and I are doing is we're going to join the Gay and Lesbian Parade. Of course, we're big lesbians, right? But we're also ecosexuals now. And we thought that it would be a really great idea to add the E for ecosexual or environmental to GLBTQI. And like I said, I'm from West Virginia. So when we add the E, we can just start calling the parade the Giblet Parade, because it will spell giblet. We'll have to add a Q in there, too, so it could be quiblet, but it's definitely giblet. It's much easier to say than GLBTQI and all of that.
I know. My poor old brain, I start forgetting letters in the middle of it, but never the sentiment.
You will never forget giblet.
Never.
Once the E's added. So we're going to have a contingent in the Gay and Lesbian, Trans, Intersex, Asexual Parade here in Santa Cruz, and we're so excited. And we want to invite everyone out there to come collaborate with us. You can come be in our contingent. It is going to be eco-sexy. We're going to have some burlesque dancers. We are going to have a blue pollination pod that we're going to be pushing through the parade, because it'll be sort of like, kind of our penance to water. And we're starting to really turn our ecosexual gaze to water, because as we know here in California, we're in a huge drought, and we have to really start being so aware of how we use water and how water is in our lives. And, that's going to be really a kind of new direction for us. So, in fact, we're going to start a film that really looks at water, and it might be called Ode to a Glass of Water. That's what we're thinking about for a title.
That's the working title right now.
That's the working title. Ode to a Glass of Water.
Yeah, here in California, we really, really feel the thirst. In fact, you have a beautiful shirt on right now. It's got H2O and these darling, glittery water droplets all over the place.
Well, we just got our costumes that we'll be wearing in the parade, and our amazing costumer, Sarah Stoller, just delivered these last night. So we're both wearing our costumes around like two little kids. It's really fun.
Nice. And now, were these up on Facebook as well?
Oh, yes. They were on Facebook. We're getting the hang of social media.
You guys are rocking the social media.
That's right. We even have a Facebook friend page. Just go to theecosexuals.org. That's our website. But somewhere on Facebook, if you go to The Ecosexuals, you'll get to our friends page, too.
Wonderful. Ooh. And so, Beth, you, along with being an ecosexual partner with Annie Sprinkle, you also are a teacher here. You're a professor in the art department. And among many other things, you're working on your PhD dissertation as we speak, actually.
Yes, as we speak.
And what is that? What are you doing for your thesis? Is this your life?
Well, I hope my thesis is not my life.
But I mean, if your life is ecosexuality and your thesis is about, is it about?
It is about ecosexuality and sex ecology, which is the larger field that the ecosexuals romp around on.
Right.
Yeah. So, well, the dissertation is really unpacks what this word means, because I mean, in a short soundbite format, which is what we do here on the radio, I can say the thing about metaphors, and we're shifting the metaphor from Earth as mother to Earth as lover. But in fact, this is a real paradigm shift to start thinking about the Earth as an equal, as opposed to simply a resource which we can extract from in order to have all of our needs met. The Earth is not able to provide in the way that it once was, and we're going to radically have to shift the way that we live. And also the way that we interact with, on a global scale, because we are depleting our resources at just a mind-boggling rate. And it's causing climate change, and the consequences of that are being seen by these torrential rainstorms in Texas,
the drought here in California,
the drought in California. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So we're really trying to engage this, and I think one of the things that's different about ecosexuality is that we're looking at this as a kind of exciting prospect to have the opportunity to engage this much change. And we know that it's going to be hard and difficult, and that a lot of people and other creatures are going to suffer. But, we're hopeful that we can enter the future in some sort of positive way that brings a lot with us, and I mean a lot being the environment, being critters, and being other human beings, and other in all its glory.
And Beth, ecosexuality is something that you and Annie have been doing for several years. I remember when you had your premiere up in San Francisco at the Queer Center, and you unveiled the manifesto.
All right.
Would you mind just giving us a little bit from what was on that manifesto? What is on that manifesto? And you have a website, right? So.
Oh, yes. Well, we have the ecosexuals.org is the website. That's the go-to website for all of the activities we're doing around gay pride, the movie that we're making. We're doing an ecosexual walking tour on June 21st in San Francisco at Bernal Hill, and that's free and open to the public, so people can come get your ecosexual gaze on. But our larger website is sexecology.org, so that's where sex and ecology come together. And .org, we always use .org because it reminds us of orgasms, right? So
.org.
Sexecology.org is our big website. But theecosexuals.org is the website that we're really engaged in right now. And the manifesto was basically just a statement that we are starting this movement. And we had this wonderful show at the Center for Sex and Culture in San Francisco. And it basically says we are the ecosexuals, and we are here to shift the metaphor from Earth as mother to Earth as lover, and we hope that you will join us. And then a lot of people signed this manifesto, and it's actually hanging up down in my studio, which is the temporary headquarters of a new center that we've started at UC Santa Cruz called the Earth Lab. And so, you all can just come right down to the Earth Lab and visit us anytime at the Dark Building down in the Arts Compound at UC Santa Cruz. And in fact, we're going to be having a dress rehearsal Saturday morning at 11 o'clock right down there at the Dark Building.
A dress rehearsal for the
parade.
The gay parade.
Yes, for the gay parade. And we're also going to have treats after the gay parade, too. So, and you can join us at any time. I think Nada's going to join us at 11:30, and I think we kick off at what time does it kick off?
11 o'clock, I believe.
Oh, at 11 o'clock.
That's why I was worried about the half hour.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun this year.
I have to say, I am a proud signee of the manifesto. That was a great presentation exhibition that y'all did up in San Francisco, and it's such a pleasure to watch how it evolves and how you two are growing this movement, and you're really helping to bring in students here at UCSC. I know that there's DJs here that are involved in your whole artistic approach to expressing the ecosexual.
Oh, yes, and they have a band called the Traveling Ills, and they're going to be making the first eco-core rock and roll, and they will be actually leading off our contingent in the parade, although I think they're using acoustic instruments.
Right, yeah.
Right, but that's going to be so exciting. So the Traveling Ills is a great band here.
And they're also they're making movies. You're making movies, you're showing movies.
Oh, we have a book deal with the University of Minnesota Press for a book called Assuming the Ecosexual Position. So that will be coming out, maybe in a year or so.
Hopefully.
We're very excited. A lot of academics have picked this work up because we're really trying to have an open heart as we engage what could be just a very disastrous, future. And, how are you able to hold that? I mean, the possibilities of what could go wrong are so huge. They're already going wrong. But, you think about the future. It gets scary. And how do you face that with some joy in your heart?
Right, exactly. And that's, I think, the beauty of the ecosexual movement that you and Annie have created is that usually environmentalism can be very depressing, can be such a downer. And you two really thought hard about how do we make this sexy? How do we make this fun and still do the really hard work that has to happen? Because the beauty of what you're doing is also bringing together art and science, art and environmentalism. So you're learning a lot about environmentalism. Oh,
I'm learning a tremendous amount. And what's so interesting is I did grow up in Appalachia. My grandparents were farmers, so I had a lot of knowledge already about interacting with the earth and really being part of and dependent upon the resources of the earth, and how do you engage that mutuality so that when you plant a garden it will grow. I mean, you have to unless you're Monsanto, who just imposes what they want, they impose their will on the earth. You have to have a relationship with the soil and with the worms and with the seeds and with the birds and the bees, and so our movement is really, if I want to call it a movement, we could say our area of study, our area of research, it's really one of attraction, and it's not a punitive place where we say, if you don't do it this way, you're wrong and we're right. It's not like that at all. It's really like, what are you attracted to? What do you love about the earth? And what is it that you want to support and be part of? And so that's, I extend that invitation again for people to join us in the parade and come collaborate with us, marching down the street. And anyone can be an ecosexual, too. I would just like to say that. It's really open to anyone. Anyone. Anything. Yes.
You are listening to Beth Stephens. She is here to talk about the work, her life's work, her work with her partner, the many myriad works that are coming out of this major work, the book, the movie. It would be I would be remiss to not talk a little bit about some of the past works that you've done with Annie. I mean, both of you have been artists on your own for a couple decades at least. I don't want to, yeah.
We're old.
I'm with you, baby. But you did a long-term piece with Annie where it was a 7-year piece that celebrated the chakra system, in which every year you did a different color, starting with the first color being the root, the red, and then moving up orange, yellow, green, blue, white, and indigo, right? And each one of these represented something that you celebrated for a year, and you had marriages around this. You and Annie have gotten married how many times?
Well, during the Love Art Lab project, which is that was the Love Art Laboratory, and we have a website for that. We have so many websites, it's exhausting. But anyhow, there's the loveartlab.org. During that particular project, those 7 years, I think we probably had about 16 weddings, and then we've had a few more after that. So all in all, the sort of larger scale weddings, we've had 19 weddings, and our last wedding was in Austria, and we married the soil there. And coincidentally, this is the year of the soil this year, so we're married to the soil for the year of the soil.
Wonderful. And you also married the earth. You married green was the earth, right? And then you married the oceans, water, and the moon, white. You have really been thinking about the earth and celebrating it and also safeguarding it, or at least helping in some ways, for many, many years now.
Well, it's difficult not to be in love with the earth and be in love with the trees and the ocean and the sky and the mountains when you live in Santa Cruz County. I mean, it is just so breathtakingly beautiful here. And there's a lot of solace in that, to be able to live in a beautiful place. I mean, I think that it's a huge privilege. And, I very much understand that when I go home to West Virginia and I see what was once the most just voluptuous landscape, the Appalachian Mountains, and to see them raped and destroyed in the way that they have been by coal mining, it is just, the contrast is just amazing. But
the
last year, the devastation is amazing. But last year there was a huge spill of chemicals that are used to clean coal after it's mined into the Elk River, and that poisoned water for 350,000 people there. And then this past year, a huge tanker of bituminous oil, went into the Kanawha River and blew up. It was just horrible. And I started thinking, we're having people from West Virginia, even in spite of that, are calling me and saying, "How is the water there? Are you okay? Do you have enough water?" Because we're in a drought. And so, at this point in history, California is not that much different than West Virginia. We just haven't gone quite as far.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that today, how California always seems to be at the forefront of many different movements, and one of the future movements will be understanding the preciousness of water and figuring out how to conserve it. And once again, California may be the ones having to lead the way because of the challenges that we're facing right now because of this drought.
That is so true. It is so true. And so this summer, Annie and I are going to spend a lot of time researching water around California. We're going to be going to some of the UC reserves and talking to scientists. We'll be talking to artists. This is what the focus of the parades are going to be. It doesn't matter if you're queer or ecosexual, you still need water. 78% of our body, or something like that, is made out of water.
Which is very similar to the percentage of the earth being made of water, that's covered by water.
And we are the earth.
That's right.
I mean, that's really our big focus at this point.
And then also the movie. So while you're doing the summer road trip and this and that, you will also be capturing it and for the content of creating this next movie.
Absolutely.
And Ode to a Glass of Water.
Ode to a Glass of Water.
Working title, folks.
Yes.
It's funny that you're making another movie because I know it's very difficult.
Oh my God. It must be like having a child, right? It really hurts, but then you're like, oh, I'm in the next one,
I know, you got addicted to it. I was like, oh, Beth.
Oh, well, so we're gearing up. A dear friend of ours, Isabelle Carlier, just flew in from France, and Annie went to get her at the airport, so that's why Annie's not here right now. But she's going to be filming. Keith Wilson, who was our editor for our last film, he's going to help us with filming. Robert James is a friend of ours who has a production company in San Francisco. He's going to help filming. So we're going to be filming these parades, and we have a niche of doing environmental documentaries that are unlike any other environmental documentaries that have ever been made, because we really do them as life as art. And that's really our primary practice. And so we're really excited about making this new film. I have no idea how I'm going to fund it, or, I think it will just happen as it happens, like the other one did.
Beth, we only have a few more minutes. Beth Stephens, you're listening to KZSC Santa Cruz. Beth, tell us about the new center here at UCSC.
Well, so Annie is the creative director, and I'm the director of the Earth Lab. And so that's EARTH, stands for Environmental Art Research Theory and Happenings. And we are just, getting started, and we're so excited that we're going to be able to do this in the Arts Division. And we'll be having some symposiums. We love having ecosexual symposiums, and we've had 3 very, very successful ones, 2 in California, and then one that spanned Spain, France, and England 2 years ago. And we'll also have visiting artists coming in. And, the Earth Lab is also part of the sponsorship behind this film and the parade. So y'all come right down to the Earth Lab. Come hang out. We would love to see you. Come join us in the parade. It is going to be so much fun. And we're marching. We're the third contingent. So come on, join us. We just love everybody.
Yes, you do. And everything. Everything made by the earth.
That's right.
So you've got this going on for the summer. Next fall, you're coming back, you're teaching.
And I'm finishing my dissertation next fall.
That's right.
Ooh.
I'm very excited to get to read your dissertation. Tell us about the classes that you do you know what classes you'll be teaching next year?
Well, I will be teaching a class that's called Material Metaphor. And in that class, we will use materials, which all come from the earth, right, to create sculptural work or performance work. And some of my students are even doing, two-dimensional work. I have a class where it's very open in terms of what you can make. And it's going to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And here comes Annie. Oh, Annie's here. Oh, and Annie, and Isabella's here.
Annie, I only have a minute for you. Would you mind just...
Okay. Yeah, sign up for my class Tuesdays, Thursdays, I don't know what time it is. It's sometime on Tuesdays and Thursday afternoon.
Oh, I'm so sorry I'm late.
I'm so glad she's here.
So pretty. Coming down. Did you tell them about the website?
I sure did. A few times.
You tell us
again.
We
want to invite everyone to come participate with us and save water, love water. And you don't have to be gay or queer or anything. Just come be eco and love nature and join us. It's going to be fun.
We're going to have treats afterwards.
Yeah.
And so, Annie, you and Beth are going to have a kind of a rehearsal party.
Yeah.
Saturday at 11:30 at the dark.
We are.
And then at 11 o'clock downtown Santa Cruz, Gay Pride Parade on Sunday. Everyone's invited to join.
We're third in line, apparently, so get there by 10, and we march at 11, and we've got a ribbon cutting and a water toast.
And wear black and blue.
Yeah, black and blue.
Black and blue is the code.
Walk, water warriors, or whatever, be however you are, and we'd love to meet you and start a environmental activist movement that's inclusive of everybody.
Sadly, our time has come to an end. But you got to make it. It's so great.
Annie, we love you.
Water makes us sweat.
I love you both so much.
We have lots of stickers for people too.
Yeah. There's swag, there's stickers, and if you miss the parade, come to our Blue Pollination Pod.
You can't miss us.
Get some Ecosex Ed and learn about
some
what
kombucha.
We're doing. Yeah, and snacks.
All right.
You. Bye. Love you, Nada.
I love you too.
Thanks, Nada.
Please stay tuned for Happy Beyond Words, the poetry show. I want to thank Vanya Benavides for live tweeting and Facebooking during the show. I want to thank all of my previous guests, Diane Cowan, Jen Gallagher, the Sugar by the Pound, the Coffis Brothers and the Mountain Boys, Mountain Men, excuse me. Thank you for listening, and have a great day, everybody. Come out and join us at the Gay Parade.